Psychologist Muzaffar Sharif conducted the Robbers Cave experiment. This experiment is based on the realistic conflict theory. Muzaffar Sharif conducted the experiment in 1954 at Robbers Cave in Oklahoma. The first hypothesis tested in this experiment states that when individuals having no established relationships are brought together to interact in group activities with common goals, they produce a group structure with hierarchy statuses and roles within it. The second hypothesis states that if two in-groups thus formed are brought into functional relationship under conditions of competition and group frustration, attitudes and appropriate hostile action in relationship to outgroup and its members will rise and be standardized and shared in varying degrees by group members.
The field experiment involved two groups of 12-year-old boys at Robbers Cave State Park. The 22 boys in the study were unknown to each other and all were from white middle-class background. They all shared a Protestant two-parent background. None of the boys knew each other prior to the study. The boys were randomly assigned to one of the two groups, although neither were aware of their existence. They were then, as individual groups, picked up by a bus on unsuccessful days in the summer of 1954 and transported to the 200-acre Boy Scout of America camp at Robbers Cave State Park.
The experiment was broken into three stages. The first stage was the in-group formation stage. Soon after the arrival of each individual group had created their names, the Rattlers and the Eagles. All boys developed a relationship within their own group by working together as in raising tents and other activities. At the end of the first stage, each group slowly became aware of one another. The boys then began asking the staff to create competition in the camp, which led them into the second stage. For our example, we will use the AMC television show The Walking Dead. The show consists of two groups, Rick's and Diana's, both which have close relationships within their groups and will eventually become in competition for power when they meet, bringing them to the second stage as well. The second stage is known as the competition stage. This is where both groups are competing with one another in activities such as tug-of-war and baseball. This stage was intended to create frustration between the two groups. Trophies were being awarded to the winners with no prizes given to the losers. In this stage, two groups began to name-call, taunt, and fight with one another. Both believed that their groups were superior. As the week went on, the tension grew with the Eagles burning the Rattlers' flag, and in retaliation, the Rattlers ransacked the Eagles' cabin. In comparison, similar conflicts were also expressed in scenes of The Walking Dead.
Stop it! Right now.
Touch him again, and I'll kill you.
Damn it, Rick! I said stop!
For what? You gonna kick me out?
Put that gun down, Rick.
The third and final phase is the integration stage. This was viewed as the most significant stage in the experiment because the experimenters would deliberately try to rekindle the cooperation between the two groups after a period of friction. The experimenters put together get-to-know-you opportunities. Activities included fireworks and a bean collecting contest, and films. Researchers soon realized that these contrived ideas had no impact on the feeling between the two groups and developed a new scenario where participation within the groups was necessary. They achieved this using two separate experiments: the drinking water problem, the problem of securing a movie. Both experiments required both groups to come together to achieve a common goal. This last Walking Dead scene shows how both groups needed to forget about their differences and work together to survive.
I didn't bring it in. It got inside on its own. They always will. The dead and the living, because we're in here. And the ones out there, they'll hunt us. They'll find us. They'll try to use us. They'll try to kill us. But we'll kill them. We'll survive. I'll show you how.
In the end, both groups seemed to be on good terms. They united together with very few disturbances and asked to ride home together on the bus. The leader of the Rattlers even shared his bean contest prize of $5 so both groups could enjoy a beverage. Sheriff's experiment confirmed both of his hypotheses were correct. When individuals having no established relationship are brought together to interact in group activities with common goals, they produce a group structure. And second, the conflict between the groups can generate prejudiced attitudes and intolerant behavior. Although the experiment was considered successful, there were a few issues. These issues included the fact that the majority of the study was artificial and did not reflect real life, and also was viewed as biased because the study only included 12-year-old white males